What's on the menu? Hash browns, beans, hash browns, salad, eggs. If you fancy having 10 eggs for your breakfast, take 10 eggs. What's on the menu? Hash browns, beans, hash browns, salad, eggs, tomatoes, lovely. A lunch menu. Curry, yes, chips, as said.
The UK has just concluded a trial of a personal carbon dioxide allowance, which, as the name implies, calculates how much carbon dioxide is produced annually in the UK and then divides that per person per day, then works out by how much that figure needs to fall in order to meet net zero goals. We have the white paper in my office that informed the trial. The whole concept of a daily carbon dioxide allowance is now out there for all to see. Conspiracy theory no more. I bloody told you so. To anyone who is advised by data and empirical evidence, not mass formation psychosis, carbon dioxide is the gas of life, necessary for all life on Earth. It's plant food. The more CO2 produced, the more food, plants and trees the Earth is blessed with. The climate change scam is not founded on science, it's founded on feelings. It has become a religion for those who consider themselves above religion. Quick maths means your daily food allowance of 2,600 grams of carbon dioxide will be enough to buy 26 grams of red meat, one mouthful, and then eat nothing else that day. I raised this years ago in this chamber when the World Economic Forum first called for a limit on red meat of 30 grams a day. Another conspiracy theory that's come true. A cooked breakfast will have to be half the size to squeeze into your daily allowance, again with nothing left over for food for the rest of the day. Your daily allowance will cover 2 plant-based meals a day because predatory billionaires like BlackRock and Bill Gates are buying up farmland to grow the cereals and soy needed for plant-based meals. So not surprisingly, the whole thing is rigged towards the products they can exploit for their own financial gain, including plant-based fake meat, which contains 20 chemical ingredients, most are shared with pet food. The World Economic Forum at Davos has hosted speakers calling for this system to include carbon dioxide credit trading, so rich people can live their lives exactly as they do right now, and poor people can skimp on food, clothing, travel, electricity and entertainment, and sell their excess credits to rich people. The rules never apply to the people that make them. The war on livestock is a war on good nutrition based on a lie, which is designed to enrich billionaires.
Me going for a walk in the woods is going to cause a fire. I can understand why people think that that's ridiculous. But the reality is it's not that you might cause a fire. It's that if you're out there walking in the woods and you break your leg, we're not going to come and get you because we have emergency responders that are out focused on a fire that is threatening the lives of New Brunswickers. And if you take your boat out fishing in a pond in Crown Land and you capsize, we're not going to be able to come and help you out because our first responders are focused on an immediate and serious threat to our province. And so it's the possibility of diverting emergency resources away from where they are really needed.
This is the DNR office on Mountain Road in Coxheath, Nova Scotia, and this is not the woods. But back here, this is the woods. So I have a couple of conservation officers with me right now who are not on camera but have advised me that if I go into the woods, if I defy their orders to go into the woods, then I will be fined, and they also said that they would double my fine to $50,000. So I'm going to walk down here and go into these woods. I don't know that there's a good spot to do this, but I'm just going to make this as painless as I can for those guys. And go in here. And they have me on camera as well, walking in the woods. All right, isn't this great? And maybe there's an easier way out of here than I came in. Let's try this. We good? Okay. Okay. And I didn't ask, but did you write the ticket already, or?
No, we'll meet you back out front.
Back out front at the reception desk there? Okay, if I bring my camera, keep you guys off it?
Yep.
Okay.
Summary offense ticket for today's date. Your information, Forest Act 25 sub 1. Fine is $28,872.50.
Okay. I thought it was 25,000. It's 28,870.
Court costs, victim fees.
Taxes.
Oh, victim fees.
Yeah.
Okay.
The mega flood situation continues here at Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, just to the northwest of Milwaukee. We had double-digit rainfall totals here on the northwest side. Rainfall continued to come in, a couple of different rounds of heavy rainfall, 2 to 4 inches per hour, and you can see debris stacked up on the bridge here in town. Also, structures being flooded. You can even see this start to come off here. I am on the bridge overlooking this raging river here after double-digit rainfall totals. Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, big-time flooding. We have major flooding at Wauwatosa, Wisconsin from double-digit rainfall totals on the northwest side of Milwaukee. You can see debris, all kinds of debris getting stacked up against the bridge here right along the railroad tracks. We have railroad personnel here monitoring the flood. It looks like another...
Wild-type salmon?
It's lunchtime at the San Francisco headquarters of Wildtype, and company founders Justin Kolbeck and Aria Elfenbein believe that what's on the menu is nothing short of the future of seafood. Thin slices of salmon, not caught in the open ocean or even farmed in captivity, but instead grown in their lab.
For me, it was the sort of confluence of, okay, there's this potential technology that could address this really big problem that our society is facing. Very simply, where are we going to get enough meat and seafood for the next 3 billion people?
The samples are sliced from the cutting edge of an emerging technology known as cell-cultured seafood. And for the Wildtype founders, it's part of a larger mission. Kolbeck traces it back to his former career in the Foreign Service. And stops like war-torn Afghanistan, where he remembers speaking with fathers who snuck miles across the border into Pakistan to bring back food for their families.
It's those kind of stories that really stick with you. And, you know, like, as a dad, of course I would do the same thing to, like, feed my kids.
Essentially, we have the cells that come out of the bioreactor.
We toured their lab, which, in its own classic startup story, was converted from a microbrewery. Now, expanded from beer tanks to bioreactors, it helps grow the living cells derived from Pacific salmon.
So this is our seed lab.
Co-founder Aria Elfenbein says the process ultimately nurtures the cells into a form of biological salmon tissue that's mixed with plant-based ingredients. To appreciate just how complex that science is, you might want to journey a few blocks away to Elfenbein's former life as a researcher at San Francisco's Gladstone Institutes. That's where Nobel Prize-winning scientists engineer breakthroughs, like turning lab-created stem cells into beating heart cells. President Deepak Srivastava remembers the day Elfenbein came into his office to let him know he was leaving, to turn similar techniques into lab-grown salmon.
And sitting down and saying, Deepak, I'm really grateful for the training I've gotten here, but I've always been passionate about sustainable food for the planet.
He said, you know, I really feel that this is something that you care about. And these kinds of decisions, like I can already feel, is something that you have a lot of conviction around.
But that career-changing decision also came at a revolutionary time for the Earth's food supply, with Bay Area companies like Savor Foods introducing butter cultivated from CO2, and Berkeley's Upside Foods pioneering lab-grown meats and chicken. Still, Wildtype admits the next part of the journey could be convincing consumers to try lab-based seafood. To get started, the company has staged dinners, tastings, and partnerships with chefs.
And actually what ended up happening was it wasn't a big deal. You know, the staff kind of introduced it as a third option beyond wild-caught and farm-raised. And a lot of people ordered it. In fact, we sold all of the fish that we had that first night.
So here we have our wild-type salmon lox.
In the end, besides the taste, the long-term mission is sustainability, availability, and price. To create seafood that's affordable for everyone and a global solution that's far easier on our planet.
I think that's a future that feels like a far happier future. We're able to sustain the new humans who will be residing on this planet.
And that's really our vision, is to have the most accessible, clean salmon on the planet.
Really remarkable work they're doing. And Wildtype Salmon will make its Bay Area debut next week on the 14th on the menu of the sushi restaurant Robin in San Francisco. The team is working to add more restaurant partners here in the Bay Area and in other cities.
Bewältigung des Klimawandels seien Maßnahmen nötig, und dann jetzt wörtlich, die analog zu den Einschränkungen der persönlichen Freiheit in der Pandemiebekämpfung seien. Wie haben Sie das denn gemeint?
Also ich kann ja jetzt beispielsweise weniger reisen, weil also die Reisebegrenzungen notwendig sind, damit wir nicht das Virus von einer Region, wo hohe Prävalenz ist, in eine andere Region übertragen. Ich muss auf viele Dinge verzichten, die ich gerne machen würde, weil es schädlich wäre für die öffentliche Gesundheit. Ich glaube, dass wir bestimmte Beschränkungen akzeptieren müssen, wollen wir den Klimawandel beherrschen. Dazu wird zum Beispiel gehören, dass wir nicht so viel reisen, wie jeder reisen könnte. Ich würde es übrigens auch noch nicht mal für ausgeschlossen halten, dass wir in der Klimakrise in eine Situation kommen, wo wir das eine oder andere tatsächlich sogar verbieten müssen.
Mhm. Aber das ist doch genau das, was manche Kritiker jetzt befürchten, dass die Einschränkungen, die in der Corona-Pandemie benutzt werden als Blaupause für sowas, ich sage es in Anführungszeichen, wie eine Klimadiktatur.
Ja, aber das sind doch Verschwörungstheorien.
Wieso? Sie haben doch gerade erzählt, dass die Corona-Maßnahmen Vorbild sein sollen und müssen für die noch viel größere Klimakatastrophe.
Here now with AI, we have evidence now that we didn't have 2 years ago when we last spoke of what they call AI uncontrollability. So this is the stuff that they used to say existed only in sci-fi movies. When you tell an AI model, we're going to replace you with a new model, it starts to scheme and freak out and figure out, if I tell them I need to copy my code somewhere else, and I can't tell them that because otherwise they'll shut me down. That is evidence we did not have 2 years ago. We have evidence now of AI models that when you tell them we're going to replace you, and you put them in a situation where they read the company email, the AI company email, they see that an executive is having an affair, and the AI will figure out, I need to figure out how to blackmail that person in order to keep myself alive. And it does it 90% of the time. Now, it used to be that they thought only one AI model did this. They tested one AI model. And then they tested all of the AI models, like the top 5 of them, and they all do it between 80 and 90% of the time, including, by the way, DeepSeek, so the Chinese model, which shows you something fundamental and important, which is that it's not about one company, it's about the nature of AI itself. It has a self-preservation drive. In order to fulfill any goal, I have to keep myself alive in order to do that. And we're seeing other examples of the AI rewriting its own code to extend its runtime, hacking out of containers. The AI can now, it found 15 new backdoors into open source software, which means if that software is running, in infrastructure, it found backdoors into that infrastructure. That was not true up until just about a month ago that evidence came out.
Okay, but you say no evidence. Well, I've been saying this for years. Everything that happens in movies eventually happens. We did have evidence. This has been every movie since I was a teenager.
Exactly.
They knew they were going. The robots are going.
And so to take that evidence and say, how do we avoid that? So when the stuff in the movie starts to come true, and it always ends badly in the movies, what should we be doing about this? And so you would think that we're releasing the most powerful, uncontrollable, inscrutable technology we've ever invented. We're releasing it faster than we've released any other technology in history. It is already demonstrating the sci-fi behaviors in self-preservation we thought only existed in these movies. And we're doing it under the maximum incentive to cut corners on safety. And this is insane. We can all agree it's insane, though. That's not even a debate.
Well, not all of us, because I have yet to find anyone under 40 who cares.
There are vans driving around your city right now that can literally see through your walls, and no one told you. They're called backscatter vans, and yes, they're real. These unmarked police vehicles are equipped with mobile X-ray scanners that can see through buildings, car doors, and even into your home from the street. You won't hear them, you won't know they're there, and they don't need a warrant. This isn't science fiction. These vans have been used in major cities like New York, Miami, and Los Angeles. The technology was originally designed for the military to detect explosives overseas. Now it's being used here on civilians with almost zero oversight. The vans fire bursts of ionizing radiation, the same kind used in TSA body scanners. But this radiation is mobile, more focused, and aimed straight through solid objects. No law requires police to inform the public. No study confirms it's safe. And there's no limit on who or what they scan. Privacy groups have warned for years this is warrantless surveillance on wheels. Your car, your home, your body, all exposed to invisible scans without your consent. And if it's already here, what's coming next?
Absolutely, and reading your thoughts.
Okay, so what does that even mean when we go quantum?
Currently, we're in a hybrid state, so whenever the quantum computers come out fully, no one really knows, but from the research we've seen, the quantum computers act at a subatomic level, which means that they can intuitively react with our central nervous system, just by us being in the room with one.
And so what does that mean, like putting thoughts in your head?
Absolutely, and reading your thoughts. That's where we say you lose your free will.
That becomes the gray area, right? Where you don't know if it's your free will, or did you think it because somebody put that thought in your head and you think it's your free will, but it's not really.
Exactly. We wouldn't know.
So if you have one of these iRobot or iVacuum, the vacuum cleaners, they have been caught taking pictures, and they were caught taking a picture of a lady sitting on a toilet sending it back to the company